First up, our continuing coverage of the coronavirus that has spread across the globe, and now an Italian cruise ship carrying 6,000 passengers has been docked as tests are being carried out on two Chinese nationals who have been suspected of being positive of coronavirus. Now, the Chinese couple arrived in Italy on January 25th and boarded the Costa Smeralda ship on the same day. They later came down with fever and started having breathing difficulties. No passengers are now being allowed to deboard as medical checks are being carried out. So this is, of course, the latest on the contagion spreading far beyond China. Well, let's shift our focus now to India, which has confirmed its first case of the coronavirus. A student from the southern state of Kerala has tested positive for the virus. The patient is a student at Wion University who recently returned to India. The patient is currently in an isolation ward and is said to be stable and under constant observation. There is still no clarity about when the individual returned to India or who he or she had been in contact with. Wion's correspondent Siddhant Sibbal earlier spoke to India's Union Health Minister for more.
I just have already, the whole government is, I think, doing its best. We are screening everybody who is coming with a travel history from China, and it's all being done at almost 20 airports. And anybody with a suspicion that's how we could even taste this.
So can we expect additional measures now, given the fact that India has confirmed the first case of coronavirus?
You see, we even before the confirmed case has been reported, we are already doing our best. It's not that we are waiting for the case to come. We are already putting all the best efforts to ensure that we do our best to, number one, diagnose, and then, of course, if there is anything like a positive case, we treat it also.
Well, the deadly coronavirus has now claimed 170 lives in China, while more than 7,000 people have been infected. Overnight, 38 new casualties were reported, with 37 deaths in the Hubei province and one in the Sichuan province. Nearly 60 million people remain under lockdown in Hubei. Several medical teams have been dispatched to Wuhan, the city where the virus first started. Meanwhile, Tibet has also reported its first case. China has also announced $3.9 billion to fight the virus's outbreak. The decision was taken after instructions from the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. In Shanghai, meanwhile, the government has rolled out temperature screening machines at railway stations to control the spread of the virus. Disneyland and Forbidden City, two major tourist attractions in China, have also been closed to visitors. Not just the government, the private individuals are also pitching in. Alibaba founder Jack Ma has donated $14 million to the development of a vaccine for coronavirus. And according to reports, Alphabet Inc.'s Google is temporarily shutting down all its offices in China. Based on reports, the decision will impact offices in mainland China, Hong Kong and in Taiwan. Swiss furniture company IKEA has also shut its stores. All 30 IKEA outlets will remain closed until further notice. Food chain McDonald's has recently shut down its outlets in 5 cities. And car maker Tesla has reported the temporary closure of its brand new factory in Shanghai. And the move is expected to impact production of Tesla's new model. Over in Hong Kong, Chief Executive Carrie Lam announced that high-speed trains and ferries to mainland China will be suspended. The shortage of supply is a major problem in Hong Kong. Long queues were seen in front of pharmacies as people scrambled to get their hands on a limited number of face masks and medicines. In Macau, there have been 7 confirmed cases so far, with 15 people still awaiting their test results. The government is planning to rent a hotel to keep all the suspected patients under observation. And Wion correspondent Grace Lee is now joining us live from Hong Kong for the latest on the coronavirus and its spread. Grace, a global pandemic that is only growing in numbers. Mass evacuations are taking place from Wuhan, but how are residents under this lockdown actually coping? What news is trickling in from mainland China?
Well, the latest from Wuhan is that they have a shortage of food, they have a shortage of medical supplies, and the hospitals are overflowing. Now, officials from that region say that they're worried about the kind of condition that people in Wuhan are under. Not just Wuhan, but also the area surrounding it. Several cities nearby are also reporting that their cases have skyrocketed. So they're closely monitoring the situation to try and see if there's more that they can do to make sure that the spread of the virus doesn't accelerate, but also that the people in Wuhan aren't suffering. But in this case, China has said that they will build 2 more hospitals, but it seems that's already been delayed. So we're not sure what else they can do at this point to help them out.
Right. And Grace, what about Hong Kong and the fears of masks, of course, running short? And is China actually looking for international support to fight this virus? We know that, the virus is also being developed in an Australian lab to see if there are any vaccines that can possibly be made in the future.
Yeah, so Australia announced that yesterday, and of course scientists worldwide are trying to figure out a way to combat this virus, but so far there haven't been any substantial kind of notions to help Chinese citizens in Wuhan at this point. Other than that, of course, countries are kind of busy trying to fight off the virus themselves. Several nations, including the U.S. and Japan, have already pulled their citizens out of Wuhan. Other countries like the U.K., Japan, South Korea, and Australia are also trying to get their citizens out of that area too. So really what we're seeing here is kind of mass panic about the situation.
Right, absolutely, Grace. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest there. We will keep coming back to you for more on the spread of coronavirus.